Hi everyone, thank you for joining me again on the Way Shower. Today's video is to address a question that Ellis had regarding the difference between the ego and the mind. So I thought it was a really good question, and I wanted to get the answer from higher guidance because I felt that my understanding wouldn't be sufficient. And it turns out I was right. So their explanation is lengthy and a little bit confusing. So what I'm going to do is only read part of their answer, the part that I think is more understandable, and then I will write the entire answer and put it on my community page, my blog section, and then I will put a link to that in the description box below. That should take me a day or two to do that. So if you want to read the entire transcript that I received, then come back and check the description box in another day or two for the link to that message. Okay, so, and excuse the swishing of pages because it's written down and I'll have to turn the page to read it. Okay, so here we go. The purpose of ego is to provide the individual expression of source, which is you, with a filter that will allow for separation and individual identity, while at the same time be open and permeable to group consciousness and assimilation of other experiences. Your individual ego identities create a whole. That whole is part of another whole, and so it continues ad infinitum. And I had to look up that phrase, and it means that it goes on forever and ever. Therefore, subduing or eliminating the individual ego identity only serves to hinder the evolution of mass consciousness into higher consciousness. So, your ego is an individual identity which allows you to experience life through a filter which has been created throughout previous lifetimes. Yet, it is part of a whole. The separation which the ego identifies with is simply the role that you are playing in this lifetime. In order to gain a more complete understanding of the bigger picture, the mind does not have a singular identity, yet it identifies with that which it is creating. The mind is always in the now. This is how it creates. It can be conceptualized as an AI, yet it is organic, meaning that it is not created by another. It is a natural component of consciousness. Memories are a compartment within the mind. They are stored within the compartment of lifetimes, which also houses the egos. Thus, the mind may identify with all memories, which may confuse the ego of the current life. While the mind and the ego have separate functions for the individual expression of the great I Am, which is you, they are not separate. They are intricately entwined. The mind is that which assists the ego and developing its current trajectory towards higher consciousness. It is that in which we are all able to connect via thoughts or ideas. It is the interpretation center for the entire process of being and becoming. Mind is similar to essence. At this point, I had a question, and I said, it sounds like it follows us from lifetime to lifetime. And I keep getting hung up with the idea of the brain and that it is an actual and physical organ of the human body. They answered, the mind can be thought of as an energy, a complex energy pattern that follows the individual soul throughout incarnations. As rebirth occurs, this complex energy pattern is inserted into the physical organ that you refer to as the brain. It is complete with all experiences and memories from previous incarnations or birth cycles. The mind's job or role is to create a new reality based upon previous incarnations. This is determined during that period between life cycles, and it is part of the life review process. So, it is like a program that is inserted into a new computer. It has the ability to access any compartment that will aid in the creation of the current reality, according to the algorithm set during the in-between period. While the mind does not have its own identity as an individual expression, it does associate itself with the current identity or ego. Yet, when a level of understanding and integration has occurred within the current ego, the mind may open other compartments to allow access to past experiences and also to allow reprogramming. The reprogramming aspect is where algorithms may be altered through changing what many humans know as life contracts. Therefore, ego is a personality. It is an individual identity and expression of the great I Am. Yet, it encompasses only one lifetime, although it does have access to memories of other lifetimes. While the mind is a complex energy pattern which contains all experiences from all ego identities, it does not have a personality nor an individual identity. While it is an essence of the great I Am, it is not an expression of the great I Am. Perhaps the easiest way for most humans to comprehend the difference is to understand that the ego identifies who you are now, while the mind houses all that you have been and the potential for all that you may become. We bid thee adieu in truth and grace of the divine I Am. Selah. All right, everyone. I hope that this comes across good enough to understand. It's a little bit late, but I did want to get it out right away. If it's really confusing, I'll redo it and post another one and then just take this one down. All right, love and blessings to all of you. Ellis, please let me know if this helps.